Welcome to the channel. So you want to build some big ass muscles.
Ciao.
We've got the best scientific evidence man has to offer here for you. So check this out.
So welcome to this video. This video is going to be based on 861 comprehensive studies actually done by Dr. Brad Schoenfeld and from our own experiences, of course, as well. This week's series is actually about building muscle and muscle alone. Next week's series, part 2, is going to be on building strength. So those two actually go separately, kind of hand in hand as well, but this week is purely about muscle building. Simple caveats to this as well. Basically, this is a highly nuanced area based on averages. So you do have to adapt it slightly to your own lifestyle and your own preferences. So of course, people have different lifestyles, different work lives, that type of thing. So we're just going to, rather than ourselves explain it today, we're going to give it over to the science ninjas because they're much cooler and much more scientific than we are.
Science Ninja! Science Ninja! Science Ninja! Science Ninja! Science Ninjas!
Cheers, guys. Welcome to Science Ninjas. Science Ninjas. So beginners building muscle. This is based on people of around about average weight. So if you are overweight, we do recommend checking out our previous video.
In the Ninja Corner!
So that is based on calorie deficit on how to reduce your overall weight. So check that out. Once you're comfortable in an average weight, please come back and we will help you as much as we can.
Boom. So all about building muscle now, baby. What's the plan?
Science Ninjas! The plan is bitches need to be in a calorie surplus. Research has shown that calorie maintenance just doesn't cut it for building muscle. So we need to make sure our energy consumption is higher than our output. So eat in more than you're burning off. That's just fact.
Fact. And as you saw in our last week's video, or Johnny and Luke's last week's video, should I say, they were actually saying that you need to train regularly. So you need to do 2 muscle groups, like it said last week, check that last video out, and you need to train at least 4 times per week. That's beginners, advanced, intermediates, whatever you want to be. But right now, we're going through for beginners, so 4 times per week is the minimum training, hitting those muscle groups twice per week.
Yeah, so how would that split look? We're looking at, say, push-pull legs being a good split.
Anything you want. Beginners, if you are starting out, form.
Technical ability.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you do. You can do 5 rep range, 8 rep range, 10 rep range. You're going to grow muscle in your first 2 years. You're going to grow it no matter what you do. You can look at a weight and probably grow muscle. So don't be overly concerned with what you're doing. Focus on the form. Focus on the varied exercises because, to be honest, you're just going to grow. But you've got to show to grow. I don't know what that means. So let's move on.
Macronutrients and calories. We're going to go over protein to start with. We need to be consuming around 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. We have covered this in a previous video, which may appear, may not. I'm sorry, I'm going to put it in yet.
Somewhere.
But yeah, so that is the range. If you're eating too much protein, you'll probably get the shits. So reduce the protein.
Yeah.
That's the bluntest way to say it, really. If you're crapping it all out, it's pointless eating it. So just get to a range, experiment, find a range that works for you.
Experiment with your poos. So if you're new to calorie counting, the best thing to do is get a calorie calculator. We've got them. You can get them anywhere. Just go online, check them out. If you are a beginner, you can actually be in a 2,000 calorie plus surplus of your maintenance level. Huge. However, we would probably recommend starting at maybe 1,000 surplus for calories, just because you might have a discomfort, let's just say, eating that many calories. So let's say the average man is like 2,500, you can add 2,000 onto that. Yet again, it's based on averages. So because we're going on averages, you have to kind of put it around your lifestyle. And of course, you have to, go from your levels of your shits, yes, essentially. If you're over consuming though, so for those of you who have been with bro builders for a few years and you've been chatting to them and they're like, yeah, just eat as much food as possible, bro. Eat like 8,000 calories a day, man. I don't know why they're American.
All bro builders are.
All bro builders are American, and they've just got those stupid vests.
Big bellies.
And big bellies. And that's the reason why they've got big bellies, descended bellies, because if you overconsume, so overconsumption can negatively impact your body as well. Basically, it gets beyond homeostasis. So what it essentially means is when you go past a certain point, it can actually damage your cellular processes. So essentially, it's going to damage your skeletal muscles and you're going to become resistant to insulin. So in other words, just don't eat too much fatty boombatty. Go.
Right, you've nailed down your protein. Well done. Let's look at carbohydrates.
What?
Carbohydrates.
Say that one more time.
Go on. I can't do it.
Carbohydrates.
Carbohydrates.
I can't even say it now.
We're looking at 3 grams of carbohydrates per kilo
Per kilo.
of body weight. Okay, so that's what your carbohydrates will make up. So your proteins, your carbs, and whatever's left of those calories to make up has to come from your fats.
Bennies.
Lots of fats. So that the fats basically just makes up whatever's left in the calories.
Yeah. I mean, there are obviously different diets out there, and some people, due to their lifestyles, would choose different diets. So going off of that, if you're, for instance, fasting, because you were fasting not that long ago, were you?
Yes. I still do fasting in the morning. I don't eat breakfast still.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Didn't know that. Cool. So as someone who is fasted, because a lot of people talk about protein intake, which is something that, when do you have protein? What's the best time to have protein? So if you're in a fasted state, when would be the best time to have your protein?
Ideally, you need to be getting your protein straight after your workout. If it doesn't fit with your lifestyle, so you are struggling straight after your workout, you have to shoot off to work. At bare minimum, at least 4 hours after training.
Yeah, and that's the same for
most people, yeah.
For most people.
If you're fasting, try and get as close to that workout as you possibly can.
Yeah. If you're not fasting and you're just on a regular diet, up to 4 hours before and up to 4 hours of training after is the best time to get your protein in to help those anabolisms, basically, to get anabolic.
You got it.
I did it. I usually say that wrong all the time, and it's I've got like a problem. Oh, I've got many problems. Anyway, moving on.
Anabolism's one of them.
Moving on.
One final thing on this food is good quality is what we need. So eating surplus 1,000, 2,000 calories of McDonald's and jelly beans and all sorts of stuff is not good. I think we actually did an Instagram story of the week.
It tastes good, but it's not good.
It tastes good, but it's not good for your body. It's less nutritious, so you need to maximise that nutrition going into the body. So good quality food. Getting your veg in, your fruit, your meat sources if you eat meat. If you're a veggie, make sure you're getting a variety of different sources of protein to get all those amino acids in.
Yeah.
To make sure you're getting a wholesome food.
In other words, it just affects your hormones. It makes you stressed. Your body doesn't produce muscle. So eat as good as you can.
Yes.
So what about lifting? What are we doing on lifting, mate?
We are doing compound lifts to start with.
Compounds.
Beginners, big compound lifts. That's your fundamentals training. We again covered it in loads of videos.
Yes.
Fundamentals training is start with just compound lifts, deadlifts, bench press, overhead press, and all important squat. Just get those nailed, and then as you start getting more confident, working in those isolation moves.
Build outwards. Foundation first.
Expanding your repertoire of exercises.
Indeed.
It's time for intermediates. So what is an intermediate trainer? We're looking at 2+ years, would you say?
Yes.
Good. So, what's the difference between beginner and intermediate? There's not much. What we want to do is continue everything you've done as a beginner, but we're going to reduce that calorie surplus. So first of all, we're going to go to a 500 to 1,000 calorie surplus. So the macronutrient calculations stay the same, just reducing the amount of calories each day, and make sure those calories are cleaner. So you can't afford now to eat pizzas and burgers and stuff as much as you were. Nice, clean, lean meat sources, lots of veg, lots of fruit, and healthy sources of carbohydrates.
Essentially, as you're getting more advanced, you won't maintain or you won't grow as much muscle mass. So you want to hold on to as much lean mass as possible. If you're in the same kind of surplus, what will essentially happen is you'll just put on more fat. Yeah. So that's the reason why we don't want to do that. So just lower that surplus down a little bit. I would say 500 is probably better than 1,000. I tend to do better at 500. How about you?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And you'll probably find that your muscle mass, your growth will sort of slow, but it'd be lean mass in the best way. So you're not going to grow as much as you were in the first 2 years. So that's just fact.
But the upside is you've already built that base, you've already built that foundation, so you can build outwards from that. So what's the next phase, my friend?
So like we said, including isolation moves on top of those compound lifts. So the compound lift should have nailed by now, should be perfect. And then we're going to put some isolation moves in there. If you check out all the videos we did last few weeks, there'll be a, what's it called? A playlist. There'll be a playlist at the end of this video with all those videos in. We go through each body part one by one and how to maximize muscle growth using isolation and compound lifts. So that is imperative to check that out.
Yes. And as you're also getting and developing your training, the one big thing that you should do, beginners, they can train. Obviously, they get muscle soreness, they recover. They tend to recover quite fast. But as an intermediate trainer, you want to do, and this is best for muscle growth because obviously muscle growth slows down, 3 weeks on and 1 week off. And when I say 1 week off, I don't mean 1 week off training because that's silly, but I mean 1 week off deload. So you can work on kind of like form a little bit more, lower that weight down, still hit the 6 to 10 rep range, still hit 16 sets per muscle group each week, but you just want to allow your body to recover a little bit to get that homeostasis. So all your cells essentially run back to normal, all your hormones are back to normal, and that muscle growth is the best possible thing. Remember, if your hormones are messed with, so many like things like insulin and that type of stuff will get messed with and you just won't grow muscle. So it's counterproductive to go too hard too much. So yeah, again, bro builders, just work hard, bro, lift more.
It's difficult because the mindset of everyone is that the more you lift, the heavier you lift, the more muscle you gain. But muscle's not built in the gym, muscle's damaged in the gym. Muscle's built at home.
Repair.
Food, nutrition, sleep. Sleep. Yes. So having a week where you're doing a little bit less lifting, giving your muscles a chance to recover properly, the following week you'll find you're probably even stronger than you were when you had that week off.
I mean, some people in their deload week, like myself, like Luke, we do more athletic movement. So we do kind of like climbing, that type of stuff. We like to do a bit of differences. So sometimes just building muscle can be a little bit too straightforward. It can be a little bit boring. So if you want to motivate yourself, get into a different style of training, but HIIT training, anything that's just going to allow your body to recover enough. So when you go back to weight training, you're going to get the best muscle results. So if you're looking to just get purely hench, this isn't based on our opinion, by the way, just like I said, start of the video, 861 conclusive studies have gone into this. So this is based on averages. Like I say, the variables you need to check into so you can adjust them slightly to your lifestyle, but these are the best base averages. So start on these and then build outwards, man.
Yeah.
So the science guys, they're pretty cool, right?
Pretty cool. High five.
High five. Science ninjas!
Thanks, Science Ninjas.
Thanks, Science ninjas.
So that's our video, guys. Well, that's their video. We just introduced them. Any science-based videos in the future, expect the Science Ninjas. So look out for those on the thumbnails, which are expertly made professionally by a professional thumbnail maker. Yeah, so that's the video. Any questions? Anything you want to add? And please subscribe. But yeah, anything you need, just put them in the comments below. We'll make sure we get back to you as soon as possible.
Yeah, all the info we put out today has taken us mindless hours of reading. And you've got to understand that this information is the best possible information you can get. That is out there that we know right now. So it's just right for you to subscribe, man.
Help us.
And share, please.
Help us.
We need to get a bigger platform because we want idiots like V-Shreds to be off the community and be like, how is it that this guy can get million subscribers? I mean, we've got to get dumbasses like that off the platform, and people like us, Athlete X, V-Shred, not V-Shreds, other people that are not like V-Shreds, you know, that can like help promote real fitness. Yeah. Promotions.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to take him away now.
Bye.
Share.
Share.